Update: we've had the iPhone X for 24 hours now, and are hard at work bringing you the web's definitive write-up. However, we've discovered a lot about this handset in the first day of use, so you can read our 24-hour diary with the new iPhone X right here. We've now spent a little more time with the camera. You can see our thoughts below. The iPhone X is one of the most exciting phones released this decade, but not because it offers anything particularly innovative or new. It's exciting because it's the most radical redesign of an iPhone yet, tying together a number of key trends in the industry and adding in a level of polish that will attract legions of Apple fans to upgrade and spend another couple of years in the iCycle. But this change doesn't come cheap, and nor will it appeal to those who enjoy a degree of continuity in their upgrades. This is a new way of interacting with your iPhone, a way that allows you to enjoy more of iOS at any one time, and alters the way you use apps with the increased screen size. iPhone X release date and price. Let's get the important bit out of the way first. The iPhone X is one of the most expensive flagship phones ever made. It'll retail at $999, £999, $1,579 for the basic model. If you want the larger 256GB capacity model, it's going to cost you $1,149, £1,149, $1,829 for the privilege. You don't need us to tell you that's a lot of cash for a smartphone. The cost of creating this new all-screen device has meant Apple's ramped up the price, presumably both to offset the higher development and production costs and to protect its higher margins. In terms of when you'll be able to get your hands on it, the iPhone X release date has been set for November 3rd, and pre-orders have gone live already. It'll be coming to the major territories first, with the UK, US and Australia all tipped to be included in the first wave of shipments. Already we're seeing a big backlog for orders, so if you want one you'd better start ordering pretty sharpish. Screen, screen and more screen. Right, let's get down to the new stuff, and when you pull this phone out on the train you can be sure of one thing: it looks entirely different to anything that's come before from Apple. It's rare that we see Apple jumping on a trend this early, but 2017 has been the year when the bezel has begun to disappear from the smartphone, and the iPhone X has jumped emphatically aboard that train. Apart from the essential phone, the new iPhone looks like one of the least bezeled phones on the market. The lip on the top of the 5.8-inch screen is the only thing that gets in the way of you and the new operating system, and compared to previous iPhones, this thing is radically different. Sat next to last year's iPhone 7, the iPhone X is next generation. The effect of the wider and fuller screen is going to really impress, especially if you've not held the Samsung Galaxy S8, which has a similar display. It's hard to overstate how beautiful this screen is, and that's not hyperbole brought on by extreme fatigue. It's deep, rich and smooth, and draws level with Samsung in the quality stakes easily. However, what's different here is that the screen on the iPhone X extends right to the bottom of the device, with the physical home button nowhere in sight. That's going to be one of the biggest changes for any Apple fans looking for continuity in their iPhone experience, as they'll need to alter the way they whip through their phone. The resolution of the screen has, thankfully, been upgraded from the iPhone 7, as the sub-HD pixel count wasn't really something Apple could hope to get away with in 2017 in the face of such strong competition from the rest of the industry. Apple's users don't want to move away from its ecosystem, but if certain specs aren't met these days then envy can develop when phones are shown off at the bar, so the iPhone X has been upgraded to match its rivals, with a resolution of 2436 by 1125 on the new Super Retina HD display. The only reason the pixel count needed to be upgraded was that there's a definite boost to be had with the sharper screens that makes apps look better and web browsing a more beautiful experience, and with Apple charging as much as it is for this phone, it needed to bring a better screen. But what the Cupertino brand has always been good at is making the experience good without worrying too much about the spec list, which is why the fact that previous iPhones didn't have the sharpest screens weren't as detrimental to sales. The LCD screens had a decent contrast ratio and were colorful and bright, qualities that are as engaging as chucking in a load more pixels. But the move to the OLED display in the iPhone X has definitely brought an upgrade, with the blacks deeper, the colors richer and, well, the overall effect just brilliant. The Samsung Galaxy Note 8 has been dubbed the best display on the market, and now Apple is using the same technology in its iPhones. Having spent 24 hours with the new display, we've seen nothing to alter our initial findings. The colors are perhaps more muted than we're used to seeing on a Samsung phone, which leans towards more saturated screens, which leans towards